We have a special guest joining us as well. Our guy, Bryce Simon from Motor City Hoops.
The man,
what up,
the myth,
man?
the legend.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to talk hoops with you. I'm glad I missed out on all the conversation last segment. I was listening in, but I'm glad I don't need any of that. I'm too old for that
it's all
nonsense.
this guy.
So
Yeah, well,
I believe it. I believe it.
It's not all me, but look,
Trouble.
we should dive right into it. Obviously, last night Marcus Sasser went off. He had 40 points after in the first half he only scored 9, and then he goes off for 31 in the second half. I think he only missed a couple shots. Like, what does that performance mean to you for what he can be for this team going forward?
I was just happy for Marcus because I feel like he had taken some criticism, right? Some fans didn't like that pick in general because 2 second-round picks to move up 6 spots and this little guard and all that, and then he hadn't shot the ball well so far in Summer League. So it was just good to see him perform the way I feel like he can. Now, it's Summer League, right? We're going to talk about this all. We're going to talk about Asar, I'm sure. I heard you guys talking about it. Didn't make Summer League. Like, I can cuss on this show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, like who the fuck cares? It's Summer League, so I can't cuss on my own podcast, so I got to take advantage of it whenever I'm with you guys. So hopefully none of my students are watching this, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was good to see him knock down some shots. That was the big thing. That's what I think he can do for this team. So it was just nice to see that, and the Pistons get some love.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily disappointed with the Summer League performance just because, like, he was, pick 25, pick 26, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I knew he would be able to be there as a grinder either way, regardless, like defensively. And yeah, and his stats right here: 40 points, 3 rounds, 5 assists. The big thing for me was the 5 and 9 from 3, though, because I think that's going to be one of the roles you want him to provide for the Detroit Pistons. Jeez, got Lions on the brain.
Yeah.
Hey, it's pretty much football season right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not a Lions fan. I'm sorry. Please don't X me out of the episode right here or the show. But I was just listening to a Chiefs podcast before I came on while I was working out. So, and I think they play this year, the Chiefs and the Lions. I know this isn't why you guys brought me on, but yeah. Week 1, yeah, Thursday night. So this is going to be incredible. I'm gonna check out of Pistons Twitter. I am not gonna get involved because someone's gonna bait me into saying something. And I'm a lifelong Chiefs fan, and so I just got to keep my fucking mouth shut.
Oh, we're gonna bait you here. Who you got winning that one?
No comment. I mean, listen. I put up with a lot of shitty years of Kansas City Chiefs footballs and quarterbacks, and we got Patty Mahomes, so I'm not scared to scream it from the rooftops. And I don't know if you guys have watched the series, The Quarterback. This shit is so good. It's really, really good. We're about 4.5 episodes in, me and my wife. So, sorry, we're fucking off the rails here. This isn't what you guys asked me to come. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to football, but I love watching it. I coach it actually at the high school level, so I am a huge football fan.
The best part, did you watch it yesterday?
Yeah.
When Max Crosby's going at him and he gets back in Matt Crosby's face, he's like, "You woke up the wrong motherfucker today." I was like,
damn. I watch every snap, guys. I didn't realize they were like helmet to helmet in that scenario. That was legit. Like, Mahomes got some shit to him, man. Like, nah, Mahomes don't fuck around, man. He's a nice guy. He knows the things to say publicly and all that, but he's an ultra competitor.
He sounds a little Kermity though. Like when I'm here.
I'm here. That's big facts. Big facts.
But
it's a good thing he's a stud at football because if not, he'd be getting clowned all the time.
Absolutely.
Facts. Getting back to it, you were actually in Vegas for the Summer League. You saw these guys up close. Like, what was your first reaction of seeing Asar and seeing Ivy in his second year? Like, what made the biggest impact on you when you were there?
Yeah, I mean, watching Asar play and contribute so much was really exciting. You know, we don't have to get into my thoughts when they drafted him or leading up to the draft or whatever. At the end of the day, he's a Detroit Piston now, and you want to see those guys succeed. And I know he didn't shoot the ball well and some of those things, but man, he just does a lot of quote-unquote winning things on the court. And he did it for 4 games, to be honest, guys. So I have to admit, though, I don't watch the games very well in person, especially in Vegas. I'm always like chit-chatting with people, trying to network and stuff. So I'm not the best evaluator when I'm in person.
That's fair.
That is fair. Are you allowing yourself to buy into the hype, though? And like, how much so? Like, is it possible he's a starter this season?
So I go back and forth, Easy. I just put out a tweet today where I broke down some of his scoring efficiency, which quite honestly wasn't that great. I mean, he didn't shoot it very well from the perimeter. Even his half-court scoring at the rim wasn't great. I'm not like crushing him. I'm just saying we need to be realistic about what he's been, which is quality defender, disruptive defender, rebounder, all of those things. If he comes off the bench as the sixth man, like, I'm not upset about that. If he starts, great. But if they want to start Bojan and Stu, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. And speaking of Bojan, they've been circling, trade talks have been around him a lot. It's kind of heating up. He's getting back into it. First things first, do you see him getting moved from this team before the season starts? And then two, what would your asking price be for a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I actually think he's going to stay on the team until the deadline. I think a lot of these guys, him, Burks, Monty, I'm forgetting one. There's another. Oh, Joe Harris, all expiring contracts. I think you move them at the deadline. But what I would want, if I'm going to trade Bojan, I want to balance the roster with a four-man. So someone similar to Bojan, but who can truly play the four spot, the power forward, next to a Jalen Duren and space the floor. So whoever that is, I would like that, plus maybe a future asset or something.
I like it.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
I like it.
Is there, I guess, like a solution out there at the four spot for you for the Detroit Pistons? Like, is there any names you could draft that you could see being on the move, or you think it's just a situation we have to wait till next year?
Yeah, I mean, a name that has come around a little bit is Tobias Harris, not knowing what's going to happen with James Harden. I believe, don't quote me, I'm pretty sure Tobias is also on an expiring. So I know fans are kind of tired of this, but you could, more cap space, you could bring him in for a year, more cap space. But I'm trying to, John Collins would have been interesting. That's a little more long-term money. The other thing I think you have to be careful of is you do want Isaiah Stewart developmental minutes there, right? I don't know how you guys feel about Stu, but I want to see him get some minutes there still, Yeah. And so you don't want to bring in someone that's going to take up 32 minutes a night. I mean, at least not for me.
With that being said, though, too, without a solution there, how much are you buying into them, like, truly wanting to compete this year?
Yeah, I think they want to win some games. I think Troy Weaver needs to win some games. Yes. Monty Williams got paid a lot of money to win, but I do think Monty's here for the long haul, and I appreciate this. They're not overpaying guys. They're not trying to speed this process up too much. This team has to win some games if they stay healthy, though, right? I mean, Cade's in quote-unquote year two with injuries. Ivy, Duren, you have some veterans. I think they got to win some games. I don't think they're play-in ready, though. I don't know how you guys feel. I think play-in is like
steep. Everything's
working perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. And their over-under for the season got put out at 27.5. So what are you looking at? Do you think that's fair? You going over? You going under? What is your thoughts on that?
Let's be optimistic today. So let's go over today. I'm sure I'll tweet out tomorrow under and look like a contradiction, but that's okay. Let's go over. I've said right around 30. Like 30 would be great to me. So if they went over 27.5, guys, after 17 last year, I mean, I'm all about that. That's incredible to me. That's this thing progressing. And remember, like, their picks top 18 protected. I would like for them to get another pick, continue to add to the young core. And so I think another year of just let's push ahead. 8-10 wins. Let's show some progression and see what we really have in some of these guys. Let me ask you, are you guys sold on Cade being face of the franchise?
Yes.
Or Jaden? Like, okay, good, because I am too. But, like, we haven't seen enough to know for sure, right? Would you guys agree with that? I mean, we've only seen Cade play 70-some games.
That's actually what I was going to ask you next is, like, he did make a little bit of jump while injured in the beginning part of last season. What type of jump do you expect him to make this season?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the dude, right? Like, I know what I think Cade is, what I thought he was whenever they drafted him. I love the intangibles and everything off the floor. I truly believe the injury was really holding him back, which is fucking crazy considering how good he was. But it's time to, like, see it, hopefully for 70, 75 games. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see these guys for a whole year. Jaden Ivey for another year. Jalen Duren for another year. Let's find out how good these guys really are before we start making long-term plans around them. Because if Cade isn't that dude, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. So going back to Asar, though, and your takeaways from Summer League, the one thing I want to look at when it comes to him is you talked about his defensive impact from day one and his ability to be a plus defender. You think he can be a plus defender, and that's probably his way into the rotation. How much of that from Summer League, watching it, did you take away and be like, yeah, he's really going to be the guy who can guard the best guy for minutes? Because that's a tall task for a rookie.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I think really good perspective is he's not going to lock that guy down, right? Like us expecting him to go and hold Jason Tatum to 18 points, I think is setting him up for failure. But just having the guy with that mentality, with the athleticism, with the demeanor to do that, so Cade and Ivy don't have to, I think there's value in that. Guys, he's going to have some growing pains defensively. Say whatever you want about OTE, they did develop some bad habits. I did watch the games, full games, tons of them, and those games weren't ultra competitive. So there are going to be some lapses on and off the ball, but he's going to make some nice plays, and just taking those matchups allows some of the other guys to relax a little bit defensively and give a little more energy offensively.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
So I'm not concerned about either because he has the want to and the athleticism, and I think like that's the two key pieces in being a great defender in this league.
If the Pistons are to get that over 27.5, aside from Cade being him, being that guy, who would have to take the biggest jump forward on this team in your eyes?
I'm gonna say Jalen Duren, because I think a lot of people have put a ton of stock in Jalen. And listen, I was super high on Jalen Duren's ceiling. I was also the fucking idiot that thought he was going to start out in the G League, so take that for what you want. But he's got to take a leap defensively, guys. If this team is going to go win 30 games, I think they're going to score the ball okay. It's not going to be perfect. I don't know that they're like a top 10 offense, but they got to be better defensively, where it was really rough last year. Asar helps, but a lot of these other guys aren't. Boyan ain't doing it. Monty and Alec and Joe Harris ain't doing it. So it's going to be a huge step from Jalen Duren on the defensive end of the floor, and I'll be watching that really close to start the season.
Yeah, that's one piece I was talking to Lucas the other day. I'm highly critical of the defense of my Detroit Pistons center just because I grew up with Ben fucking Wallace, dude. It's like that guy was 6'9", and all he had was the want. You should be able to do it if you're a Jalen Duren type, you know?
Yeah. I want to touch on something real quick, Easy. What you said about Asar is spot on, and one reason why a lot of people were super high on Asar was the intel. A lot of people I talked to in the NBA draft world that were around those guys, both Amin and Asar, spoke to their character, who they were as kids, their work ethic. That shouldn't be something that's understated. Asar taking the role he did even in Summer League, that's big time, man. Like, a lot of these rookies want to come in and score 30 a game. He said, nah, I'll score 15, but I'll grab 12 rebounds, couple blocks, couple steals, do the dirty work. I mean, I think that's why he endeared himself so quickly to Pistons fans.
100%. Yeah, that's what I love about him.
And what would be like your player comp for Asar if he reaches his ceiling? We've heard a lot. Troy said Iguodala. People are throwing around different things. Is that yours or?
Yeah, I mean, I know it becomes redundant. Everybody says it, piggybacks. Like, I think Andre Iguodala is the right comp. It just makes so much sense, and I think, he has the feel that Iggy had, and that's why it could work. Now, it's not easy to be that archetype of player, guys. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's definitely going to hit it, but I think that's a really, really good comp, and I think that's a really good player for this team, assuming everybody else hits what we think they are.
Chris wanted to squeeze one more in before we let you go.
One more quick comp. My boy posed this to me, and I talk draft comps with him all the time. And he said the absolute ceiling of Asar, the absolute ceiling when you're looking at him, is Scottie Pippen because of the playmaking ability, the defensive versatility, everything. And I never thought about that. I don't want to throw in like a top 30, top 40 all-time player, but that kind of is, when you look at his tool sets, a light Scottie Pippen, like that would be his peak.
No, that's really good. And I'll say Matt Babcock, who I'm pretty close with in the NBA draft world, he used that comp for Amin, actually. And the people who had Asar ahead of Amin or right there with him saw the playmaking from Asar. And so it could be the same type of thing. Yeah, I mean, the true ultimate ceiling, guys, and this speaks to the Pippen one, is a guy who can score the ball, right? Like, we're talking about a guy who passes, defends, disruptive, connector, blah, blah, blah. What if he shoots 38% from three? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, a monster. I don't know that he does. I don't know that I believe he does. But shit, man, if he does, like, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Bryce, we appreciate you for joining us, man. We appreciate you hopping on. Do you want to shout out anything you got going? I know you're about to record an episode. Shout them out.
Yeah. I mean, you guys stay here with the heavyweights, but if you want to join us, me and Amari record live shows over on the Free Press YouTube, the Pistons Pulse every Tuesday. If you're into draft stuff, I write for Draft Digest. But man, I'm so proud of you two, man. Like, you guys are doing big things, and it's legit to see. I'm super proud of you. Everything you guys got going on at Woodward, you guys are doing big things. So I'm always honored and privileged to come on. Plus, I get to cuss a little bit and show my personality. So.
Appreciate it,
You
brother.
the same, man. I seen you out there in Vegas.
Yeah,
That's
it's
big
awesome
time.
to see you making moves, dude.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
brother.
man.